Welcome, everybody, to Happiness Patrol. I'm Dave. Welcome. So happy to have you here. We're a group of friends, if you're brand new to this, we're a group of friends who are sick of toxic fandoms. We wanted to talk about something that makes us happy and be happy. So for the first season, we're talking Star Wars. Today, we are talking about The Force Awakens. So we're going to have a great conversation. We're getting into the sequel series, which is always an interesting conversation. So we're going to see, we can be critical. We're just not going to be toxic about it, is the thing. So let's start. I'm just going to go in order of who I've got in my thing, starting with Cameron. Hey, Cam.
Hello. Howdy.
You all ready to talk Force Awakens?
1,000,000%. I'm very excited to be getting to the sequels. These were the first ones, other than I force-fed my children Star Wars right from birth. I put a little stormtrooper right in the bassinet with my son when he was born, and but these were the first ones that I got to experience with them, so they mean a lot to me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a few years. Didn't you have the Imperial March at your wedding?
Maybe not. It was the medal ceremony.
Oh, the medal ceremony.
But not during the ceremony, but just later.
But I remember it being there and going, "Yep, this is Cameron."
And my one of my best friends was a minister, and he officiated, and he had a lot of interesting things to say about Star Wars during his little speech. Yeah.
So you're excited. I'm glad. Spoiler: you like these. So we're gonna have fun. Next up, we've got Scott.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you, Scott?
I'm well, actually. The reception to the sequel trilogy has only been positive, so I'm looking forward to adding to that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And now we go a little bit farther south, and let's bring in Jess. Hey, Jess.
Hey.
How's it going?
I'm alive, and we're talking Star Wars.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Always a good day when you can talk Star Wars. Even bad Star Wars is good Star Wars.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
blaster in my head behind the
Yeah. They blink and they have my family. No,
it's so good.
Yum. I mean, we got through the holiday special without Jess, but we got through the holiday special.
We did, and you haven't gone back and watched that yet, have you?
Ah, darn! I totally forgot.
Too busy trying to locate where they keep in my family.
Jess, I haven't officially put it. We're not at the Christmas episode next year. I might just do it again, just to make you watch it. I might reschedule what we've got for Christmas next year.
It's not Christmas until B. Arthur kicks you out of the cantina.
So, there you go. I don't know.
Oh, it's so great.
Melanie, what do you think about that? Is it Christmas before B. Arthur throws you out of the cantina?
Only when she's singing and dancing her way to letting you leave.
Mm-hmm. There you go. How you doing, Mel?
I'm very good. How are you?
I think we're all doing fabulous. We're talking Force Awakens.
I have very strong opinions, and I'm ready to share them.
All right. I love it. Well, then, on that note, go for it, Melanie.
Why not? Lead the way.
I'll just have a drink here. You go off.
Okay, so yeah, I literally just finished watching it. Not I wouldn't say 3 minutes, but about 15 minutes ago. So just such promise. So many things that I thought were absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Parts that were great callbacks, done well, because there's always, people, it's fan service-y. Well, who the hell else are you writing it for? Yes.
Yeah.
Sir. Yes, over here, fan. Give it to me, please. But there were parts where, and again, my brain was watching it again with the don't think of episode 11 and 12. Those don't exist right now. So as just this film, even at the end, I kind of had that, oh, well, maybe they'll, zhush or fix or massage some certain things in the second, and then, in the next.
Maybe the Mandela effect will happen for the next films.
Yeah, maybe. And we'll get into that as we keep going. But right now, I loved how they brought in Chewie and Han. I loved the fact that then you saw Leia. So I love that episode 10 kept going Skywalker-ish, at least with the original trilogy. This felt like a sequel to the original series, or the original trilogy, because you had Han. Exactly, you had Han and you had so you're okay. We're connecting the dots. This is awesome. But as somebody who read, I guess we now call it what not Legends, not the expanded. What used to be called Expanded Universe.
Oh,
it's
Legends now.
Now it's Legends. Yeah. So it's kind of like, which character is this? Why would you name your child Ben? I'm not quite sure of that. Yeah, but no. On the whole, I like this movie.
In Legends, Luke calls his son Ben because Luke actually knew Ben.
Well,
now
Leia knew Ben as a child.
That means they had to fully. Yeah. That was them retconning more.
Who cares? I don't really care what order it comes in, as long as it's poetry. It all rhymes.
They were like, "Oh crap, Leia needs to know Ben because she names her kid after him. Let's make a whole series, and Leia meets Ben Kenobi."
Sure. And that's where I caught something for the first time this watch through, because now as an I guess old person, I don't know why so many of us now watch with subtitles on as we're watching the film. I never caught that in the scene with Rey during her little flashback, flash forward, Obi-Wan says a couple things.
And
I'm like, these are your first steps, Rey. And
I wanted her to be a Kryze. You know how much I wanted her to be a Kryze. Sorry, we're not talking that.
No. That's Corky's kid. That's how I kept thinking. Anyway,
I wanted her to be Corky's kid. Like, tell me.
We're going in.
Let's make Corky canon.
That line is brilliant, Mel, because they actually combined Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor's voice too to make it work. And it's definitely I think it's a moment in Star Wars that you don't get a lot of outside of maybe Yoda's cave, where Luke takes on Vader with himself inside it. You don't really get a lot of those kind of surreal, interesting edit, flashbacky moments, and I thought that was a brilliant one. I loved it, and I think it did a good job of setting up Rey's journey in the next few movies. I that's one of my favorite parts of this movie, for sure.
I didn't catch it until just that was Obi-Wan. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah.
So I thought I was going to be the negative one, so I'm cool with that. It's like more like I was like, wow. I thought I was like, no, I don't even mean in a bad way. I'm just like, this must be how everyone feels when I'm going off, which is cool. Which I love. But I really actually, out of the sequel trilogy, this is, in my opinion, the best.
I agree.
The other
it's
side,
very rewatchable.
Incredibly,
infinitely rewatchable movie.
This was Disney's first outing on what we were going to do with Star Wars, and I think there was a lot of pressure on the shoulders. And I believe, was it Grand Slam home run? No, I don't think so. Was it enjoyable, watchable, and I think people left excited for the future of Star Wars? Yeah, I actually legitimately do. There is problems. Cam, Dave, and I have talked at lengths about one of the problems George Lucas did is started off with the biggest thing in the universe, which is the Death Star. In a galaxy, the most important thing is where you can be. Planets. And so you started off with something that can just really remove that, right? And so they up the ante with, we can remove 5 of them at once, and you're like, yay. Like it's just more of the same.
Creative.
Like we were chatting last week about the idea that like I would have been happier if it like 4, 5, and 6 was about leading up to this, almost like Thanos in the Marvel universe, where we keep hinting at this thing, kind of like how Andor and Rogue One does, where we're hinting at this thing, and you're seeing glimpses of it, you're seeing whatever, and then all of a sudden we get that almost episode 6 when they're doing the Death Star run to take it down. We finally be like, oh crap, this is what we're dealing with. That is, I think, unintentionally Lucas painted them into a corner, and I think that's the biggest failing of this film. But other than that, I think it's really good.
I would agree with you if there hasn't been in Star Wars universe scarier things than the Death Star been written since then. There have been.
Yeah.
In, you know, like I would say, like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go to High Republic again. But there is a creature. I'm going to let you guys know. Spoilers for anyone at home. Said the thing. But spoilers for anyone at home. But there is a creature called the Nameless. And they are horrifying. If you want to know a horror story almost, like, these creatures are used and weaponized by the villain in this. So they're not the big bad, but they are the weapon. And they basically, if they were around someone who uses the Force, they basically suck the life force from them. Like,
aren't they like
hunt them?
Tormentors from Harry Potter kind of thing? Aren't they kind of like that, where they like feed on your like psyche and stuff?
They do feed on the psyche, but they also like physically turn you into a dust. Like, they're horrifying. So if you escape them, you're affected mentally. But if you don't escape them, like, you are dead. Like, you are gone. Like, they are so terrifying. And that's not even the big bad. Like, that's not even the terrorist group that's in there as well. Like, that's just a weapon. So it's like, that was written past it. And like, I feel like even with Andor, like, they've created, and I know that's just the Empire, but that's without a weapon. They've created something scarier. And so when I watched the First Order, I'm like, really? This is the big bad? Like, this is laughable. This is comedic comparatively to the other versions of it that we've had, if that makes sense.
Especially in this one, they give the terrorist group a name. They call them the Resistance, and so
and we're rooting for them. We
are rooting for them.
Well, I'll say, you know, I'm probably the most positive towards this movie. I really do love it. But that said, I do prefer a fan edit. Shocking. There's a fan edit called Force Awakens Reconstructed, and it changes very little. It changes very, very little, but the things it changes really make a huge difference. And one moment is, you know, when I think the weakest link, and you guys have already kind of said it, but the weakest link in this movie, and I guess in the sequel trilogy, is Starkiller Base. It's silly, like you say. It's absolutely silly. It's silly that they look up in the sky and can see what's happening in real time, even though it's, you know, so far away. Even if it's not a light year away, it's silly that it's all happening live. That could be solved very easy if it was being broadcast. There's all kinds of things you could have done. I don't love that they changed the capital to the Hosian system, which we had never heard of. Like, just make it Coruscant. If you're gonna blow something up and want us to care about it, make it something that we know already. Like, there's all these little things. I do have a rewrite, and if I can get into it later, but first we'll just talk about what we like and all these things. But I will say this: I think it's a perfect reintroduction to the galaxy, and they went at it with a lot of care and a lot of love and a lot of, you know, they tried to have some practical stuff. I love that there's a desert planet again. I love that they, you know, that they're showing us I think the Finn storyline has a lot of potential. You know, it's really cool that you know, that opening scene when the stormtroopers attack and they're going after this map. There's interesting things in it all the way through. I think Rey, outside of Yoda, which I know I've heard the word overrated before for Yoda, but I don't buy that. Maybe my favorite character. I think Rey is maybe my second favorite Star Wars character of all time. I absolutely love her journey. I love how her skills develop in such a unique, interesting way, and I'm all in on where we go from here. Even though there's a lot I would change.
Mhm.
I think the only part that I really had an objection to with Rey, and it also was with Finn, is in their lightsaber battle with Kylo.
At the end there, yeah.
At the end there, we in the original series we see Luke practicing
Barely.
and learning and slowly developing his skills, and they can just do it
very quickly developing his skills. Like on his third run through, he gets it.
Yes,
But it's also his third movie, and he thinks he's a Jedi Knight.
Just
there.
do it. Just
I think that Jess, being the fight master of this group, has
As
something to
someone
say.
who fights, I will defend this one because of the fact. So the difference being is Luke has never touched a weapon his entire life. I don't even think he's thrown a punch when we meet him. Rey, on the other hand, fights with a staff. Which why the frick don't you give her a saber staff in the whatever? It's fine. I digress.
That's fine.
But those muscle memories, those translate. As someone who has used both staff and sword, you're not as good or as proficient. And note, she's going up against someone that is injured at the time that she goes up against them.
And most of her fight, she's running, stopping, doing a defensive move. Then running, stopping, doing a defensive move. So I'm right there.
So
She had to fight and scrap her whole life. Like she's had to fight.
She's had to get scrappy. She's had to defend. Like, and we see her at the very beginning, her fighting off 3 dudes at once with just a bar of steel.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
And I'm less upset about Rey as I am Finn, because Finn held his own surprisingly well as well.
He did okay, but then he almost died. When he fights later with that, or earlier with that guy, I think his name is 99, who has that like twisty thing.
TR8TR.
Yeah, traitor.
Okay, yeah. When those two fight, you get the sense that he's trained with this type of weapon before. They know each other. They obviously went through training together. Like you'd feel like he's been trained to fight to some extent his whole life too, because he was recruited as a child.
All right, I'm willing to accept that.
Well, mine was when in the fight with when she's holding it, and then they're on the cliff. Clearly Kylo Ren's also kind of toying with her because he doesn't want to kill her. He wants her to become the master apprentice kind of crap.
Yeah,
but
he is not trying to kill her.
She's blocking, and then suddenly she just gets calm, and she learns the Force. She plugs into the Matrix like Neo somehow. And now has become a Jedi Master. I'm like,
well, Jess made a very good point too, that they set it up on 3 different occasions in the movie that Chewie's blaster is devastating, and when he shoots even near stormtroopers, it explodes and they go flying.
It's a bowcaster.
Yeah, and the bowcaster hit Kylo right in the side. Like he's probably using a lot of his energy just staying upright in this fight. I think it actually makes a ton of sense that
that's the only thing that I will defend that one. I will honestly say I think Force Awakens for me is on par with Pirates 2.
I've never seen it.
In that it's a perfect bridge. It's got great throwbacks to the first that you absolutely love. There's nothing glaringly horrible about it. I think it's a very solid bridge for what's to come. I haven't watched it since the last 2 came out because I couldn't bring myself to do that. And I did before we did this episode. And I found myself really saddened because I think I enjoyed it more than when I first watched it because it's so much it's got a good balance that the following ones don't as much, whereas it has those humorous moments while it's also serious, where it feels like Star Wars, whereas everything else after it is kind of like, what sci-fi film, like, this feels like sci-fi, but it just doesn't feel like Star Wars sci-fi. Like, I think
I feel like this has a lot of potential.
films. Yeah,
It's
Potential-
so such a fun watch. It's such a fun watch, and
it's a good fun
and
watch.
yeah, and going back and watching it, it does fill you with that sense of hope, and definitely it reminds me, like, if in my head it really lines up with A New Hope, which people have said, and then I feel
Which
very
I didn't think was
similar
bad.
that we're not going to get into it on this episode, but I think Last Jedi lines up with Empire, and I think Rise of Skywalker lines up with Jedi. I think it still kind of has the same trilogy flow, and but this one especially. I mean, people have even said that's one reason why they don't like it, is that it's just A New Hope all over again. It's like, well, that's
And
sort of the point. That's what we're doing here, you know?
And see, that's where I think for my biggest criticism with this was that when watching this for the first time, and I remember for the first time I still carried the viewpoint, and it was, why is there resistance and why is there a first order? I thought we won. So in my mind, now I do get that, yeah, the pendulum has a tendency of swinging. So I don't think that, oh, they blew up the Death Star, the second Death Star, the Palpatine gets thrown into the pit. Again, I'm talking Jedi. We now see, if you want to go, either the Ewoks celebrating or the new releases of everybody celebrating. Okay, I don't think that all of a sudden we're into a new brand new Republic. We're great. And current stuff out there is kind of showing that, like Mandalorian and stuff, going, there's going to be some trials and tribulations as we go. I would have hoped that with this one, that maybe the first, that it's not the resistance, but the resistance is actually a, like, I don't know, an agency or whatever, and you're trying to, like, it's part of the New Republic, where they're trying to step.
We didn't see the New Republic.
These pockets, and that the First Order can still exist. Call it the First Order, but this shouldn't be the resistance. This should be like, no, we're the Republic, and we're trying to get rid of this stuff. I hate that.
There is a reason why it's not called the Rebellion, because it's not they're not rebelling against the powers that be. And I think
they're in
we've
hiding
seen other
still.
episodes where, there is kind of on Earth historical precedent for these moments where you remove a regime in hopes the new people will take care and do all the right things, and then that doesn't go well either. We've seen it in South America. We saw it in Germany, and I think the idea that I grappled with that too at the beginning. I was like, what's this First Order? What's going on? But it's a very big galaxy, and I think that there's hints to it in the big General Hux, passionate speech, where he talks about the Republic kind of being chaotic, and they are, I mean their name is literally the First Order. We do learn later that there are ties to the original Empire. I'm sure there was Empire sympathizers. It's shocking to see people even in our world that align themselves on the wrong side all throughout history, but it does happen. And I think this is a group that was like, the Republic is in charge now, but they're not looking out for our ideals, our values, and our values are coming from a dark place in this sense. But I really do think that they felt like they were going to reinstall a sense of order. There were people's lives that were better under the Empire, and we've seen more of it now. But it is actually a very interesting thing, and I think they will get into it. Is this creation of the First Order will be?
I think nothing you said was incorrect. I think the biggest issue is the fact that it all happens you have to consume all this external media to
Offspring.
like you
Yeah.
don't know the Knights of Ren, they just get thrown out. Like you don't know any of this information, and then they're like, "Ooh, and here's these like they don't even give it to you in shows. They're like, "Oh, here are these books and these comics." And if you look in this one encyclopedia and this one thing, it describes the thing that you see that's actually really pivotal to the plot. And it's like, "What? Hold on. Why didn't we, and at least with the prequels into the original trilogy, you have a streamline there, where it came from. And if this were a standalone like A New Hope, you do have that suspension of disbelief of these are just bad guys that have been in power. But the problem is we have 2 generations of lead up and then a whole gap of history that we're just missing.
So,
and we have no idea about.
But-
And
so-
that's what I think makes this one feel so disconnected and so jarring compared to the original 6. And I'm now saying original 6, but whatever.
We know what you
The first
Yeah.
1 through 6.
Okay.
mean. The Lucas.
Yes.
Okay. Just described the fact that Disney understood Star Wars fans. Fact. If you're going to say that there's any group out there outside of maybe Star Trek fans who are willing to just like dig down into the dumbest little recesses to like bring up something, just describe them. So Disney understood their audience. So pros or cons. The big difference between this sequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the original trilogy is with the original trilogy, no one knew what a Star Wars was. So here we are. So there was nothing to dig into. With the prequel trilogy, a lot of it was just starting to be discovered. The internet is what we're really looking at here. So Wikipedia didn't exist. We were starting to really into this. Now you get into these ones, and all this is there. This is so they're able to do this. The biggest problem with this movie, in my opinion, is the first 15 minutes are the best of the whole film. The way they introduce Kylo Ren with stopping the bolts, Max Van Snowden of all things, like boy, did they not use him well enough. Letting the bolt introducing Rey's best moment is when she is splunking inside the Star Destroyer. Throughout the whole series, she does not get better than that moment. It actually goes downhill from there, in my opinion. The more we get to know her, the more I did not like her, and so it's just and this is, as Cam and I have probably hinted before, the next episode going to be a gutter, but like it's just like but like they're setting it up. But when they reintroduce Han Solo and Chewbacca, perfect, amazing. The creature running through the ship, awesome. Yeah, very good.
Tell that to Kanji Club is the best line in the whole thing.
Cameron said more than once that J.J. Abrams can start, but he can't finish, and this movie shows all of it. We're introducing the characters, and when we first see them, the potential is all there, and then they open their mouth or they start to do their thing, and that potential just goes out the window.
He can plant a garden. He does not know how to get the things to grow or tend to it.
Yeah, and I think they confuse that for world building. They're like, oh, we set up all these things. It's world building. It's not world building if it doesn't pay off, And like I thought today, I watched it again today, and the Guavian Death Gang and Kanja Club could have come back at some point. Like, the people that were there on the ship, a lot of them died and probably didn't get away from the Rathtars. The Rathtars could have come back. Yeah, that like these are things that could have become more. And they just don't. I think he's very good at setting up.
Bad that I think
he's good. Sorry.
Is it bad that I think the Raptors and the Kanji Club and all of them have a better character arc than Ren? Ray, not Ren.
Yes, it is bad because, and once we're done all these three, I'll walk you through the whole Ray arc, and you'll be like, oh, it was there the whole time, and people just refuse to look at it. I'm not going to say it's gender politics, but a lot of the discussion online was gender politics, and it's boiled down.
We've had this conversation before. Sorry, Mel, just give me 2 seconds. Where it was the same with the 2016 Ghostbusters film. You were not allowed to not like those films, or you were put into the two camps, right? Like the camp of there's a lot of bad faith people out there. The whole point of this podcast is that there's a lot of bad faith people out there. To be like, I didn't like this. They went, oh, that's because you hate women. And I'm like, no, I just didn't like it. Like it's these, and here's the reasons. It isn't that I think Ray is a very weak character, not a bad character, just a weak character, especially when we've got up to this point 6 films, a holiday special, a couple animated things. We had the Clone Wars stuff. Like we have great characters. We know there's good writers in there. I just wish they had brought some of them onto these films.
I'm going to turn you guys all around on Ray.
Well, because there's parts with Ray that there was even as I'm watching, and this is somebody who I ran out and I had the coolest freaking Ray t-shirt. It was this neat thing where she was like, it was white and it was a big picture of her with her staff. It was pink. It was awesome. Loved the hell out of that. And then I just stopped wearing it because this movie, there was times where I'm like, I love this character. And there was just times where I'm like, this is just too much. Like
and it was good in Force Awakens because it was like there was the potential. Yeah. And I was like, I'm so excited to see where this goes. Mm-hmm. And even in the next one, I wasn't hating where they had taken her. It was not until I got to the third one where I was like, they took a character that I really liked, and I actually don't like this character at all anymore. Which was very sad because and the thing is I had some, with me. And I the biggest, and that was my thing with I know we're not talking about the third film, but everyone tried to argue about the Mary Sue thing or the Lena Sue. What is it? Mary Sue?
It's a Mary Sue.
It's a ridiculous thing that gets thrown around.
But I know that was a huge thing, and I have so many defenses for Force Awakens. By the time the third one came around, I was like, I can't argue with you.
The one I have a hard time with arguing was her knowing how to mind trick somebody. Yes. I'm like, how? Because you thought everything was a myth. You never heard about Jedi.
Which I would be
okay
with if that was a proclivity that she had.
All there.
Luke was born during the purge, so he after that people think Jedi are myth. But
Daisy Ridley is the John Wayne of Star Wars.
He does not like John Wayne.
Well, I think for those of you who are not viewers of Horses
for the overlap audience,
we're lucky to live in a world where Daisy Ridley is a working actor in our lives.
She's
I think she is great in everything, and
no, she is not.
And I really do enjoy her on.
I don't like that Ray was able to do some sick maneuvering for the first time in the Millennium Falcon, where Lando himself was having issues with the Falcon, and that man knew that ship for decades. Mm-hmm. That part made me go, especially when they run out and go like, I know, I've never flown anything outside of space, and I'm going, okay, well, I'll just.
Well, she's never been. No, she's never been to space. Yeah, no,
and you know what? That's okay, cool. And I know because she was a scrapper. That she knows these parts, she knows the engineering of it.
Yeah,
I'm good with most of it.
She knows it on a level that other people can't even.
I've flown a bunch of things, just nothing like that.
Yeah, and I'm okay, fine. It's Star Wars. I'm moving on. But then I was just I started getting so much of those things, and I'm going, guys, the disbelief. I can't. Even when Han has to tell Finn, that's not how the Force works. I'm going.
I love that.
And the thing is so I could understand and play off the mind trick because for one, and this was my headcanon, which in later episodes got disproved, which is she has a proclivity towards that for one. So like just like Ezra has a proclivity towards animals. No one taught him how to do the crazy control with animals. You know, some force powers are inherent because not all Jedi can do them. Okay. So that's why I was okay with Rey having that kind of proclivity.
Because you find out it's healing.
I missed that.
Which just comes out of And
Sorry.
healing,
It's a what?
healing,
It's a
even if
what?
you have a proclivity towards it, you do need to study it because there's a whole
Sorry.
division
Healing.
of the freaking Jedi Order
I
that
know.
learns that
Okay.
when you have that. Anyway,
I
I'm
can go
done.
Old Republic on that one.
I'll
I'm
say
calm.
this. I'll say this.
I'm an adult. I'm calm. It's fine. But so Ben having been in her head, I feel like that's kind of like oh, this is what it feels like. It's almost like a key unlocking that.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
it's like she's a
Fair.
quick study. And that's what we've learned in the film is she's a quick study.
Mhm.
And in my headcanon, it was like, oh, you have a proclivity just like Ben has a proclivity because the force is balanced. You need to balance his special talent of getting in people's heads. So of course that would be yours.
And
That's what made sense to me and why I didn't think, and once again, I told you for Force Awakens, I would argue she is in no way the Mary Sue, whatever. But then later I'm like, well, I can't help you out there. I tried.
well, okay. So Ray and Ben recognize each other immediately from their dreams. And I think that moment where he is in her mind, because he does it to Poe and it wears Poe right out, and then he does it to her, and she not only she feels it, it unlocks it. She goes, wait, if he can do this, I can do this too. And she throws it back, pushes back on him. Every skill she develops and hones and uses, she has no idea what it is. And then she either gets an inkling or a taste of it and goes, I bet I can do that. And does it. It's how Ray learns. It's an amazing thing. And it happens consistently and accurately throughout the whole trilogy, that these little things, just like, oh, maybe you can, she's heard myths of like, oh, they used to do these things with the Force. And then she's just like, oh, I bet I can do it. And she does it. And it to me, I love it. I love the flow of it and the consistency of it. And Kylo even knows it. He says it out loud. He said she's only beginning to learn these skills. The longer she's goes without capture, the more dangerous she becomes. That is who she is as a character, as a protagonist, as a
So-
Jedi.
But even Anakin freaking Skywalker couldn't
Yeah, I
just
was
take
gonna
to
say,
everything like
that's
that.
not-
And he's
that's
a
not
being
who
of
he
the
is.
Force.
No,
That's
Anakin.
not who he is.
We have one person who's supposed to bring balance to the Force, and that's Anakin, and he does. Let's be honest, he does. So you're telling me the biggest, baddest, widely considered the best villain of all time in most lists, by the way, trips and stumbles and has to figure his way through this, but
Yes.
Ray looks and goes, that person's fixing a car. I think I can fix a car. And all of a sudden she's better than that person is.
In a sense, because she is she's
So-
not
in your
Anakin,
defense-
she's not Luke,
in-
she's not any of these characters you've
But
ever
wouldn't she
seen
have had
before.
a proclivity
In-
towards
in-
the dark
in-
side?
Okay, so
Yeah.
Because we
So-
learn of what we learn.
She
so-
doesn't even see a difference between the light side and the dark side.
No one knew that about her
Somehow-
until they came
somehow.
out with the third film, though. So
yeah, okay, so in Marvel,
Jesus Christ.
there's a character
Jesus
called
Christ.
Taskmaster.
The set,
And-
yeah.
And their special power is what they can mimic other people's powers when they see it, but they don't keep them. It's a fairly temporary, then it goes. And that I can see that being a force power. No, Cam's got a point there. It's the continuation of it that I have an issue with. There's the biggest flaw of the sequel trilogy is coincidence. And every time there's a chance for some coincidence, they're going to take it. And that is not good film writing, film structure, anytime, like when you come off Star Wars, okay, let's be honest here. Star Wars is not the best written stuff of all time.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. It's not what it's about.
the space
And I'm
opera.
okay with that. But there's a certain level where the characters are interesting enough, the plot and setting and stories are interesting enough that they will distract from the fact that behind the curtain the wizard isn't quite right. And I'm cool with that. But I feel Ray specifically takes it too far. And you can see, like, again, to the point where it kind of overshadows everyone else. And that was like when it, at no point did I ever feel that Star Wars was the Luke story, even though it kind of is the first.
The Darth Vader story. For sure.
The Darth Vader for sure is whatever. But anytime she's on screen, I feel like she takes away from everyone else.
No, I get that.
Like it's not an ensemble; it's the Ray and Friends show, and
because it's
not
Poe's supposed to be the ace pilot for the Resistance, and he's the greatest pilot ever. So's Ray, and then I get this inkling that Finn might be force sensitive, because at the very beginning, the way that the Kylo Ren looks at him over,
they connect. Yeah,
they connect. I'm like, I think he sensed him more than realized. Oh, one of my troopers weren't firing. There was a sense. And I'm like, there might be something that he might be a Jedi. She's a Jedi.
Yeah.
Like,
Luke in the cave. Well, so is her. Like it's every time you can be like, go down. Like one thing Star Wars does really well, especially the original, is they give everyone a lane. This is your lane. And to the point where you can predict where we're going. They're like, every once in a while, they're like, man, we really need a smuggler or some kind of badass for this. And bam, Lando shows up. Like, or hey, we need this. Bam, this character shows up, or whatever. And it's pulpy and whatever. You can just be like, we have Rey the Skeleton Key. We don't need anyone else. And so why we should have just followed her around for 3 movies and just called it.
Well, I think what you're doing is you're describing what eventually becomes Rey's own struggle. And the biggest lesson that Rey needs to learn by the 3rd movie is that she can't do this alone, and that
but she doesn't.
She needs more.
But
there needs to be more than just
no, because she becomes all the Jedi.
And to the point where she wants to point out that not only am I the best character out here, I'm going to steal the last name of the best character, or what we thought was the main character too. Like,
I do
there's
love
nothing.
I do love that thing with Daisy saying like, no, I'm not going to take the last name of the guy who was a father figure to me. I'm going to take the name of Luke Skywalker, who was a complete a-hole to me.
Well, it's also,
and I think Daisy said that in an interview, and I'm like,
number 8 is not. I don't think we can get away from just talking them as a whole, but number 8 is all like nothing matters, everything's out the window. We are doing this all again, and then number 9 is like, oh yeah, remember that guy that we just said doesn't matter at all? Yeah, I'm going to steal his name, and I'm one of him now. And you're like,
well,
you stole everything else. Why not this?
We'll get to 8 when we get to 8 for sure. I want to just quickly. This is my. I promise I'll be as fast as possible on this. This is my kind of rewrite of Force Awakens, and it's so simple, but it doesn't take much. I would keep it exactly the same up until the moment where they meet Han and Chewie. I think that's an amazing intro, and even Scott said it. It's like everything up to that point is really pretty fantastic. And here's what I would do when Han and Chewie are discussing the map to Luke and all this. I want it's a simple thing. I want Chewie to say, if we have a map to Luke, we have to get it to the capital to Leia. Leia's on the capital. We have to get the map to Leia. Han doesn't want to see Leia. He knows Leia doesn't want to see him. So he says, no, let's continue with the plan and we'll take it to the Resistance. So to me, that's where the story should split, is at that point. Then they take the map to Maz, which in my rewrite, Maz is the head of the Resistance. She could still be running kind of a casual hangout joint, but it should really be welcome to my establishment, but behind this wall is this program that's being funded by the government.
Can I just say how much I love her crush on Chewie? I know that's completely unrelated, but her saying like, "Where's my boyfriend?" I like that Wookiee. I'm like, that is the best. Like,
this is peak.
Why did Chewie just after everything that happened walks off the ship and goes walking right past Leia to be with Finn?
We'll get with that.
Explain
We'll get to that.
I
We'll get to that. There,
have problems.
it's editing. There could have very
Okay.
well been a moment, but in that
That's it.
moment, we're looking at Rey.
Okay.
And
Of
there
course
could have
we
been-
are.
yeah.
She even steals Chewbacca's moments in this
There
movie.
could have been a moment there, and Chewbacca, Finn helped Chewbacca earlier, so now Chewbacca's helping Finn. It's poetry at all
I
rounds.
think my job here is done. Thank you.
What I would do, the next big thing I would do is so simple, but the when Leia finds the lightsaber, it should be in R2. It should not be in a box. So if Maz is
Ray found the lightsaber.
what did I say, Leia?
But
Sorry,
isn't
you're
that the lightsaber that
Ray
he lost
stole
in his hand?
Leia's lightsaber finding moment too. Wow.
Ray should have found the lightsaber. It should have been inside R2. It would have been a very slick moment.
No, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, that doesn't work. That's very J.J. Abrams mystery box.
Sorry.
It doesn't work.
I'm going to quickly.
He calls it
interject.
foreshadowing, but in reality, it's I
In-
don't know. Someone else
in
can
my-
pick it up.
Yeah.
In my rewrite, Maz Kanata is actually B. Arthur, who took a special thing and
Sure.
it lives forever now, and that's why she's all shrunken, weird looking.
That's just what B. Arthur would look if she was still alive in
Yeah.
20.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so then the we talked about before, but Star Killer Base doesn't work. Star Killer Base,
Agreed.
it should be a thing that travels. It should be some kind of weapon machine that travels to a system and turns the sun into a black hole. Easy. It's a star killer. It just comes, it kills the sun. And then what you end up with is planets that have wild orbits that could crash into each other. It's planets that are very quickly becoming frozen wastelands. And you end up with a refugee problem because now everyone's going to get off of these systems, and telling a refugee story in 2015 to
That's
now
weird that you
is
would want something called Star Killer to actually be the thing that it kills
Kills
stars.
kill
So
stars.
the other side of it as
It
well,
shouldn't
'cause
blow up the planets. It
Huh.
should
You
kill
can-
the star.
you can say it's based on
That's a really
old
thing.
technology, and that's how Hoth
Hmm.
became the ice planet it is.
Sure, yeah, it could be. We've created ice planets all over the place with this thing, and yeah, absolutely, it could be old Empire tech. It could be anything. And then the
Could be
idea
a
that
toy playset.
right, and when this
Yes.
battle happens, you don't have to do the battle on Maz's planet and then again a battle on Starkiller Base. It should be more like Hoth, where they're coming for the Resistance base, and it's a evacuation / attack. Meanwhile, all these planets are falling into a black hole, so you still get that thing where things are like shaken up. Anyway, that's very simple, and the idea that Leia's on the Capitol and then you see the Capitol get destroyed, or you see the sun get killed out of the Capitol, then you wonder if Leia's gonna survive, and then she shows up, and there's these
She
moments
float
that
there
confuse
magically?
me. Well, we'll get to that on the next one, because again, I love that, and you guys are your minds will be blown
I'm
by
actually okay with it.
Well,
funny enough.
I
that.
was, to be fair, I was a supporter of it, but then Ray
Yeah.
stole that from me. So
Yeah.
You guys are so anti-Ray. I can't.
No, I'm not
bear
anti-Ray.
with
I'm
it.
anti
Can't bear
who
with
wrote
it.
this needed 3 script doctors afterwards.
Well,
Especially with the
all the script
MacGuffin of them
doctors.
saying, "Oh, we didn't have a plan. We didn't have a roadmap." You're telling me that this billion-dollar franchise didn't have a roadmap?
I
And if
don't
you
know
did,
if that's
I
true.
thought the whole thing was like, remember the first picture is like, we're working on the roadmap. I was like, okay. If you, even Lucas knew that there was a roadmap. He started with
Thank
number
you.
4. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
he had the
He
story.
had
I mean,
outlines for
yeah,
these,
yeah.
even
and
these ones. Like,
someone said,
honestly,
it's
Disney-
not like we have 300-page novels of stories. We have nothing. No comics, no outlines. We
they
don't
didn't
have
want to
novels
give any
from, like,
residuals to those people.
Really?
That was what that
Then
was.
what is my whole
Yeah.
bookcase of legends?
Yeah, but and I get
Dark Horse?
it because,
Again, Kathleen, what is Dark Horse?
but Star Wars should be
What
new
is
and
Dark
exciting,
Horse?
and you don't want to just go and watch a live action of a book that you read 30
Yeah.
years ago.
it's called Lord of
Do
the
you?
Rings.
I don't know. I don't like Lord of the Rings. I think Star Wars is
Hobbit was better.
if I went to a Star Wars movie and
Hold
I
on.
sat down for the first watch and I knew everything that was going to happen, I would be very disappointed.
Every Marvel fan gets mad when they don't just do the book or the comic it's based
I
on.
mean, I'm
People
not a
got mad at
Marvel.
Watchmen when it wasn't just the book.
Yeah.
I love it when they I'm watching the Fallout TV series, played the games. I love when it hints at, and every once in a while, I'm like, oh, that's actually the quest. That's kind of cool. Not the main story, but it's cool that it's there. You don't have to be 1-to-1. But
I'm gonna say with the Dark Phoenix saga, they needed to be 1-to-1 because they tried twice to not be 1-to-1, and looks what's happened.
Failed miserably. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Let's go. If we're gonna talk Dark Phoenix. I got my signed Chris Claremont's in here.
Yeah, no, they tried Dark Phoenix twice.
There's definitely times where, like if you're, for instance, Dune, the Dune book was this, very eventually popular book. And when they tried to make the movie, it didn't work in 1984. And then I'd say, breaking it up into 2 movies and treating it with a little bit more gravitas and higher budget and everything. I think they did a very nice job of turning that first book into 2 really good movies.
Jurassic Park's the same thing. You can't that book. Yeah, of course they completely axed the river scene on the little boat thing. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, there's an art to adaptation, but I'm not tuning into Star Wars for adaptations. At this stage, I want fresh new. If you're going to show me the galaxy beyond Return of the Jedi, I want to be surprised. I want to meet new people.
Who
and that's something that we didn't get a lot of. I mean, we met a lot of new characters
in a cantina scene. Surprise, surprise.
But we didn't get nearly as much of a cantina type scene as we normally would. We don't get as many background people. We didn't get the toy series of background characters.
I'm surprised we didn't.
We did to a certain extent because we had Phasma. And
the Resistance is more multicultural than the Rebellion for sure.
Nope, no Phasma hate here, but
no. It's justice. I want justice. There's another one.
So
potential.
Why is there a silver stormtrooper with a cape?
Because she's cool looking.
The character was a great design. I think the character was designed to be a toy.
Okay, before we get into that, can I just throw one thing out there?
Okay.
While we're still talking about the structure and filming and whatever of Star Wars, the person after one day on set was Steven Spielberg. You know who would have made the most perfect Star Wars film? Rey. She would have watched Spielberg and how to make a film, and she would have
learned.
She would have did it all.
Yeah, and J.J. Abrams, he was touted as this next Spielberg for a long time. They've given him the reins to a lot of things. I don't think he knows how to finish a story. I've said it before. I think he he grew up on the set of Happy Days. He's a Nepo baby times 3, and he understands how to make a great movie. He understands how to set things up, but I just don't think he's ever finished a storyline in any way, shape, or form that could even put him in a conversation with some of the best, even working directors right now.
Did Damon Lindelof work on this? Was that this one?
Early.
Because when you watch his The Leftovers, The Leftovers is where I feel he really got to shine. I actually even like his adaptation of the Watchmen TV series. Lost is a little rough, but that was the writer strike, whatever. But a lot of this, why I bring him up is because him and J.J. Abrams were pretty synonymous for a while, where this was my writer, this is my, where Fincher likes to work with the same DPs. So does Nolan, stuff like that. When you have that working relationship, right? But I feel the biggest problem is J.J. Abrams usually comes in and then he goes, cool, I think you guys have this. It's the scene in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back when Wes Craven is just counting his money. And they're like, he's on set, he's doing his thing, he's already got his paycheck. I'm here, I showed up. Yeah, just do your thing. like you guys know what's going on. And if you don't know your lines, Ray does. So it's like it's like
Okay, side note, have you ever watched the animated Clerks series?
yeah.
Okay, so one of the lines that me and my husband to this day still do is the joke where it's we've already made that Star Wars reference, and in this movie I could say that constantly.
That's
With just, we've already made this reference, and it's because there's just so many things where I'm like, am I watching A New Hope? Am I watching this? Oh, we need a map. Sweet. Does this one lead to Camino too?
No, and that's maybe the biggest sin is it's too close. Again, stop in the cake. Ready? We land on a planet. We have Max von Sydow, we have Poe, we're meeting up, everything is there. Things go crazy, and something happens within that first little bit that we don't ever see again. That only happened once, any other time that I can remember in all of Star Wars, which is the blood on him, Stormtrooper, down.
Mm-hmm.
The only other time blood is ever in Star Wars is when they cut the arm off in the original cantina scene. But like that to me went, oh, we're dealing with something different, not because of the blood, but how it was introduced. And then they just and then we get such a calm, her in the dunes scavenging, like such a great introduction to these characters, such a solid, beautiful cinematography, nice big wide angles, like her splunking in, doing the stuff. Even when we get introduced to the world really well. When Simon
I love
Pegg,
the goggles, the match cut of the Stormtrooper goggles.
I feel like it's so well done.
Even the food, the fact that she's scrapping for food,
and that little thing
that
pops
the little like red Simon Pegg saying like this is what
for a portion.
Yeah. The fact that she's not willing to take 40 portions for BB-8 is a big deal to me because we see how desperate she is, but she goes, nope, this thing's important.
Something's important.
It's not mine.
We are at 56, almost 57 minutes into the show, and this is the first time we brought up BB-8.
Who is brilliant.
It's brilliant. It was the first time we've ever seen a design like that.
Adorable. Yeah. I love them. I have my little Sphero BB-8.
Yeah, I chased the cats with mine. So.
I love it. I'll ask a question. I want to ask a question. Do you think this, I just mean totally hypothetically, this sequel trilogy, do you think it would have been better or worse had they not included Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, 3PO, R2? Like if it was far enough in the future that none of these characters could be connected, would it be a better trilogy?
One of the most important things that this movie does, and I will defend it, and I think it's done really well, and it's how it's handled is, spoilers, is the death of Han Solo. Especially after the rumors of he didn't want to come back he wasn't too sure about 6 and the whole carbonate. But when Ben, I have to do something, and it's a struggle. Beautiful. And you have a moment of like, oh, he's grappling with the dark side. No, he's going to embrace it and kill his dad. Like killing your. He's
grappling with the light side, which
like
is what
that.
he says in the previous scene.
He's extinguishing any hope we have in this character, and it's such a crazy, well done moment. And I remember the theater just silence, a gasp in silence, because of all the main characters that eventually just like. For my hope of a good number 8, we are killing off our hopes, and it's the first, and every one of these films slowly kills their darlings. And
so you guys think we benefit from the original?
Out of the 3 deaths, this is the best by far, heads and tails. Like Princess Leia's death is maybe out of the 3 main characters my 7th favorite. And so it's like it's this one is so well done. And again, it shows I don't need my episodes to be dark, but where I can watch like Andor, it's cool. It's dark. That's what that is. There's dark moments in the other stuff. The Clone Wars TV series can have dark moments. Why? Because I think these ones need to be a little lighter, a little funner. because of the wider audience. What would have made this film better is if David Fincher had said yes. that would have made this film infinitely better.
So
But I don't know that I want to come out of the game.
No, you don't want to see that film either. Even he said when they
David
asked, like, you don't want me to make
Star
this.
Wars. No,
Yeah.
I think you got to make it for 5 to 10-year-olds.
He did.
And I think they did.
To be fair, he did work on Return of the Jedi. So he did matte paintings. So.
To answer your question, Cam, I think it would have. I don't think it would have been a better series without the original cast. I think it would have been a better series had we not lost Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
That's something you could not have.
The world would have been better if we hadn't lost.
Yeah, the world would be a better place. But let's just say they had to do a lot of coverage and reworking of this entire.
But not on this one
because of that.
Not on this one. This was on
not on this one. Not on this one.
Just
as a trilogy.
Trying to say something.
I think it's really good that we had those people, and I think they used them well. And I think they could have used them even more well, because I speak good English. Had she not passed away when she did.
I really think that the first trilogy, the prequels, was Anakin's story. The original trilogy really was Luke's story. I would have hoped that this would have been more of Leia's story.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I think it was
because Rey stole that from her too.
We gotta let Jeff speak here.
I will say I struggle to answer that question because I hate that they did the same thing with all 3 of our original characters, which was they all digressed to who they were in A New Hope. And we never saw growth of them.
Agree.
And because Han became an independent smuggler that had nothing to do with Leia anymore. Leia became the head of resistance that was even against her own government, despite the fact that she agrees with her own government. And then, Luke was in the middle of nowhere. And not wanting to get in the fight.
He went back to Dagobah.
We went through this whole journey with you, and you're telling me that none of you grew past the person that you first start. Like, we saw you grow past it. Why is and if one of them were to digress, like say it was Han, I loved Han's death. I think that was done well. I will agree with that. But that doesn't mean he needed to be a lonely smuggler guy that turned his back on everyone he cared about.
There was off-screen trauma.
And I know that they had it with the trauma and everything, but at the same time, they wrote the trauma in.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
And so that's what I hate about it is I want to see the new mentors, and they didn't give us those. I want to see the new Qui-Gons. And this is what I had an issue with Ahsoka as well, is they've set up all of these wonderful characters, and we've seen them do these beautiful arcs. And eventually, yes, they end up dying like Qui-Gon was. People love Qui-Gon as a character. So why am I not seeing these characters that I grew up loving at the peak of their selves, and then they can die? That's great. Pass it on to the new generation that way, but don't crap on everything they've been through by saying, oh, they had more trauma in addition to the old trauma that they had, and now they're exactly what they were when you first met them. So it's like none of it mattered.
I would say Luke is the exception to to that for sure.
No, I disagree.
And that's kind of what bothers me about it is I just, and that was one of the things, because I one of them. Give me one of them. Did
you read Leia, Star Wars Bloodline? With Leia,
I hate Claudia Gray.
But I mean, I liked the idea of, because that sows the seeds of why she starts the resistance. And to me, I was hoping that hence why I said I was hoping that this would have been her story, because I thought that would have been a nice.
But there was and I do know what that one delves with, and her struggle with the fact of her father and who he was and what that means about her. Like, I would love that in depth, but we don't have full care. Like, you gave us full character arcs, and then you digressed every single one of them. And I'm like, give me one full one where they're like actually a mentor and not a crap human being.
So
please.
I agree with you, except for and I disagree with both of you on which one it was. Han Solo is not the same.
Yeah.
The minute Leia kicks him to the curb, he's like, what else do I know? I am a smuggler. And so he goes back to his old ways, which is also, you can see in how he talks about, and how when he sees Leia and stuff, that he kicked her to the curb. She kicked him to the curb, and now he's sleeping on the couch, and he's like, screw it, I'm gonna go do what I do to avoid my feelings. The I know of episode 5. Also, the only character with an arc, a real arc in these things, is Han Solo. When he's on the bridge talking to Ben, that is not the Han Solo we met in number 4. That's
a dad we haven't seen.
That is a person who has feelings, who's not hiding them, who is really trying. I messed up with your mom.
Last minutes of his life. That's my issue. We had a whole film with him.
Yeah, up until then, no, I agree. But the introduction, like everything, like you can extract out, but Luke's
and that would be,
is,
and I'm not saying that with this situation that they've been given, sure, but they gave them, the writers gave them that
Luke
situation.
is the same character.
That's what I have beef with.
The Luke is the same character he was at the end of number 6. Carrie Fisher, Leia, is the same character she's been throughout the whole series. That strong female character. The only difference is in number 4, 5, and 6, we're seeing her be given the ability to show that she can do this. And 7, 8, and 9, people respect the fact that they've seen that she can do this. But that's not character growth. That is just character. Han Solo is the only one that shows us anyone different. Luke, even when you boil down to number 8, how much I dislike his character as a whole, it is in there. When you see Obi-Wan is all like, I'm just going to go live off in the middle of nowhere.
Yoda.
The TV series. And then Yoda doing the same thing. Luke's like, yeah, I just want to get away from everyone.
That's how you have to react in that situation, because their power is too dangerous.
The biggest problem I had was when Rey came to steal Luke's house, because she stole everything else. Why not?
Yep.
Why not? Like it's
Her housekeepers.
like it's hey, I have your lightsaber, and then hell, she gives it back. He throws it away. She goes, no, that's my lightsaber, and goes and steals it. Steals everything else. Why not that? Like it's just like, it's like at one point.
And that sounds like a great ending to a film and a great time to end this episode.
Probably.
As long as she doesn't bury it or something.
I know, right?
Ray's gonna steal the ending to this podcast next. So like it's
well.
So
we all compare Ray to the next one.
Always hear how Daisy Ridley plays a kazoo.
I'm just curious that that if one harder mind will be changed by the end of this, if I can turn anybody into Ray fandom.
Yeah, but the way you're doing it is by writing a fanfic.
Yeah.
No, it's actually, and I think it is at its core, it is a failure of the filmmakers, especially of episode 9. It is a failure of the filmmakers to properly, clearly articulate what it is Rey is going through, and what her story really is. And I think Daisy sees it, and Daisy's trying to get it through, and there's just too much in the way. And that's why I was curious if the idea of, if this was more disconnected, like if it didn't have the original cast and was more of an offshoot way in the future thing, if it didn't have the baggage of carrying the story forward from the original trilogy, if people would be more accepting of things that are a little different and strange.
No, I think all the characters had potential and all the characters had a place at the table. I just think it was poorly executed, poorly written.
There were failures.
I think it really
there were triumphs.
Ray's biggest struggle throughout all 3 movies is whose last name she was going to steal. And so there we are.
Well, she's a scavenger, and she that's how her scavenger works.
she saw someone else scavenge and went, I can do that. And so
she looked across the table while she was cleaning that thing at that lady who was 1,000 years old and had every crack and wrinkle in her
That's gonna
face,
be me, baby.
and just went, oh, this is my destiny. And it's as moving as Luke staring at the sunsets.
if you
And
actually
with
look
Luke
at
staring at the sunset, it's
Oh,
time
you
for
could try.
us to stare at the sunset. And we will discuss next month who exactly is the Last Jedi.
Who's the Last Jedi?
man,
Who
that
is the
poster
Last
has-
Jedi?
Patrol.
It
poster
really,
has
Definitely Chewbacca.
definitely
There's
Chewbacca.
The crazy part is that poster has better
with the broom.
plotting, character development, and story than the movie.
There's some gorgeous
We're gonna have an
posters.
interesting time next week. The Happiness Patrol will
Next
be
month.
back next month.
Yeah, I'm coming in full armor for that one.
Yeah, I think we might have to. So, with that having been said, though, Cameron, where can we find you, and what's something that's making you happy today?
Oh boy, I didn't prep anything that's making me happy. I'll say this thing's making me happy. I got one of these things for Christmas, and it's one of those things that has all the old games on it, and I'm having so much fun. I'm finding old games and obviously I got it so I could play Mario 64. But literally all the old NHL hockeys and it's so fun. And systems that I never really got to play as a kid, I'm discovering. So that's fun. And you know what? You can find me. We're doing Horses on Film. It's taken over my brain in many ways. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We've got horsesonfilm.com. We're on YouTube talking about Westerns, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of it. And we're starting to build a little bit of a community of people who are actually watching Westerns along with us. So it's great. Yeah, that's me.
Excellent. And Scott, what's something that's making you happy, and where can we find you?
Happy, honestly, I really enjoy chatting with the four of you. It actually makes me happy, especially hearing. It's funny for this episode specifically. Like I alluded in the episode, I thought I was going to be the one with the more the less happiness patrol take on this, we'll say. But it really like to see Jess and Mel on the same page, like love Star Wars. No one loves Star Wars more than a Star Wars fan. No one hates Star Wars more than a Star Wars fan. So like it's just like and to find that I'm agreeing with what Dave said and Cam and Mel and Jess. I'm now pointing at where they are on my screen. But also to hear that we're all on the same page on this one. We just want the best out of Star Wars. That makes me happy. And it's interesting we can have this conversation now in good faith, which is something that was, when these movies came out, was very much lacking out there. And so, yeah, I like it. Breakfast Scotch National, me trying to make sense of the world, which is a little darker today than it was yesterday, but I do believe there's a new hope out there. And so it's, I want the best for everyone listening to this, everyone I do this with, and everyone out there. Remember that there is hope out there and that it will not always be this way.
There we go. That's a good point. And Jess, what's something that's making you happy, and where can we find you?
You want me to follow that up of like, you
I know, right?
guys are the best. Like, I mean, yes, you guys are the best. But I'm like,
sorry.
oh gosh, like, how can I get cheesier than that? In a good way. No, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna sidetrack and say, steal from Scott. Just steal the cheesiness from Ray.
Yeah.
There
There it is.
Oh, be Ray. Steal it from
take that
Scott.
from Scott.
Yeah.
But no, I am like I don't know. I don't know who I am anymore. I've wrapped my chessboards. So I am happy that I am able to rest-ish for now. Heal some injuries and stuff like that. So that's really exciting. And chatting with you guys, and the fact that I got to join and just chat with you guys, because when we were originally supposed to record this, I felt like I had been hit by a hurricane, which I technically kind of had. So I'm happy to be here and to talk about Force Awakens, because you can just feel the passion for Star Wars from everyone, and it's really like, I know we were critical, but like I feel like the passion made it positive passion.
Agreed.
Yeah, if we didn't care and we didn't love, we wouldn't have these things to say, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what's making me happy. And you can find me on Song Swan Cosplay on Instagram. And you can also see a lot of my other stuff on Ironic, because it's Force Awakens. But Saber Guild Takadana Temple, you can check out all of our stuff on Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. We post a lot of our lightsaber combat stuff there. So if you ever want to see what cool Star Wars lightsaber combat we're doing, you can always check it out there.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, Melanie, wonderful Melanie, what's making you happy and where can we find you?
You can find me at Pieces of Melee on Instagram and other socials. When is this? I don't even know when this is gonna air, so I don't know if it's hey, find me at yeah, because it's right now
March.
January.
March. This is March. First Thursday of March.
Ooh,
okay.
End of this month.
Yeah,
March.
so when you find so March 19th through the 22nd, I think, is MegaCon. So you could probably find me and Jess. I don't know if we're gonna find you. Maybe.
I'll
sadly not.
I
This year.
will.
Not this year.
I
Okay.
will definitely. I will be there.
So at least the two of us. Well, you can
Hopefully
find us at
during Jedi
MegaCon
Navigation.
Orlando. Sorry. Yeah, you can find us at MegaCon Orlando. So that's coming up by the time this airs. Right now, okay, what's making me happy is I am playing a lot of Palia. So I'm on Palia a lot now. So you can find me there if you're also playing the game. I'll probably start a Twitch channel at some point because I'm enjoying that. And for Christmas, I got Ghosts of Tohei. I can never remember how to pronounce it.
Yote.
Yote. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain not working. I still haven't taken it out of the package. It's just I've been so far into Palia. So at some point I'm gonna open that up and probably enjoy that time vampire. So those make me happy. I disconnect from this world.
Mel, Star Wars Outlaws is on Game Pass now too. So
play it.
Yeah, I finally started it, and yeah, it's really cool. I'm not good at it. Like the controls, I don't know if the controls are weird or I just
and the
I'm not good at
mechanics are really, really hard, and they keep trying to do the shooting and stuff. But no, I love Outlaws. Oh my lord,
I'm just excited to explore. Like that's all I want to do. So.
There's so many Easter eggs too. It's such Star Wars Outlaws is so amazing. I haven't played it for a bit because I did the whole completionist thing and finished it out. But the next time that they drop another DLC pack, I'll probably jump right in it. The Hondo one is amazing.
It out during her little bit there is, and we'll throw it to Dave, and Dave can tell us where. But if you ever lose your way and don't know who you are or your happiness, just look into the sun and then turn to the closest person and be like, "I'm Jess Skywalker." and you'll be fine. Dave, where do we find you? Dave Skywalker, where do we find you?
You can find me all over the internet. You can find me on Sundays on Spill the Geek Tea at Spill the Geek T1. Of course, right here, first Thursday of every month on Happiness Patrol Show, youtube.com/@Happiness Patrol Show. Please like us, subscribe to us, share us. Get us out there. If you're enjoying the show, share the show, because that's what we do as good nerds. We want other nerds to see our nerdiness. You can find me Tuesdays on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS talking Doctor Who. Of course, you can find me on Horses on Film along with Scott and Cameron every second Monday of the month. YouTube.com/@HorsesOnFilm and everywhere else that the Cam already mentioned. In between all that, you can find me on my main channel, youtube.com/therathole.ca. That's the Rathole DOTCA, because YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs. And something that's making me happy, I'm going to give two things. One, because everybody's said it, but it is still true. This show makes me happy. Even as passionate as it was still made in good faith, as everyone said. And we want the best out of Star Wars. It's come up in conversation a few times that I don't say a lot necessarily in some of these episodes. And that's partly because the four of you are just so passionate and so knowledgeable that I'm just sitting here going, this is great. I lose my mouth. I lose my tongue because my ears are so burning and busy.
Or Ray stole it.
With your amazingness.
Ray stole it.
Ray stole it. Yeah, Ray stole my tongue.
She's scavenged it. If you're gonna leave it lying around, she's gonna take it.
Exactly. Well, the one thing she hasn't taken is number 2. On my channel, I've been doing a weird amount of video games. I don't play video games. I'm a board game guy. Look, I got a bunch of D20s here and D6s, and these are actually games in those plushies. I am a board game guy, but I've been playing video games. I've been playing NES Classic a little bit, but a lot of Munchkin digital. I'm hoping I'll expand out from that, but I'm actually enjoying it. I have not traditionally enjoyed doing video games, but I've been streaming those and enjoying it. Hopefully I can get back to doing more games, physical and digital, on my channel. By the time this thing goes live, we'll see. I am grateful to you all. Yeah, you guys are great. The four of you are wonderful. Big hearts.
Thanks, Dave. I mean, we're so glad that you created this and gave us a venue to talk Star Wars and yeah, it's amazing because this is literally what I did every day all through high school, is talk Star Wars. So. This is all I want to do ever. So.
And as this goes live, it's not going to be long before we see Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
We are not doing an official episode on that, just because of the timing of it. That doesn't mean we won't do an episode on it.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you're subscribed and you can turn on the bell to see when maybe we'll do a live show in the middle of everything. Once the 5 of us have had a chance to see it, maybe we'll just do an off time. We'll get together and we will have some fun.
Oh,
and
that
talk
sounds great.
Mandalorian Grogu.
That sounds great. I'm in.
In the meantime, we'll put this up. We're gonna pull out the kazoo and Disney, please don't sue us.